Hello, Year 7. I hope you've had a good break. We're back this term with a new topic, and we're going to be looking at fractions. We're going to look at what fractions are, what different types of fractions there are, how we can simplify fractions, how we can add, subtract, multiply, divide with fractions. It's going to be a lot of fun. However, fractions do sometimes get some students confused. So it's really important that we get through this topic, understanding well what a fraction is and how to use it, because we'll be using it lots more throughout school. So the first thing that we're going to learn, and our today's lesson is going to be about types of fractions. Okay, so what are the different forms fractions can take, and how can we convert between those types? So firstly, we need to know the parts and the words we use to describe the parts of a fraction. So we have here a fraction, which is 2/5. That's how we would say that. It's 2, given by the top number there, and fifths is what we call given by the bottom number there. You could have halves, thirds, fourths, okay, 11ths, 100ths. There's no limit to how small a fraction can be. So the top number there is called the numerator. Numerator. And that tells us how many parts we have. So in this case, we have 2/5. It tells us the number of parts that we have. We have this line in between them called the vinculum. Vinculum. Now, that's not such an important word. However, we do need to understand that it is just the same as a divided by sign, okay? So that vinculum just means divided by. In fact, if you look at the divided by sign, it's actually a fraction with 2 dots on the top and bottom. So you can see the vinculum there in the middle of the divided by sign, and the dot at the top is the numerator, and the dot on the bottom is what we call the denominator. So this number here is the denominator. Okay, and that equals how small or how big the parts are. So how many divisions have we made? How many divisions of a whole? Okay, so if we have a fifth, okay, that means we've divided a whole 5 times. So that denominator tells us how many divisions of a whole we've made. The top number tells me how many parts I have. So if I've got 2/5, then I've got 2 parts of a whole that's been divided 5 times. Okay, we're gonna work a lot more with fractions, so hopefully that clears things up later. Now, fractions can take different forms. A proper fraction is when the numerator or the top number is smaller than the bottom number or the denominator. So 2/5 is an example of, let me rewrite that a little bit clearer. A 2/5 is an example of a proper fraction where the top number is smaller than the bottom. An improper fraction, improper with an M, is when the top number is bigger than the smaller number. So the overall fraction is going to be bigger than a whole. So an example of an improper fraction would just be 5/2. So let me just write small, big. But here we have big and small. Okay, a mixed numeral is a number that has both a whole number and a fraction part. So let's say 2 2/3. Okay, we've got a whole number and a fraction part next to each other. And we call that a mixed numeral. Okay, so they're the 3 types of fractions that we might see. Okay, a few new words learned there. Let's look at some examples to apply the knowledge that we've just learned. So here we need to express each improper fraction as a mixed numeral. So we're converting from an improper fraction into a mixed numeral. Okay, now when we do this, we need to think how many whole numbers can I make? And also, what is the remainder? What is the remainder? So that's what we need to think about when we're converting from an improper fraction to a mixed numeral. What do I mean? Let me show you. So 9 quarters or 9/4, okay? We've got to think how many whole numbers can I make, okay? Which is basically how many times does 4 fit into 9? So 4 fits into 9 2 times, so I can make 2 whole numbers. However, what is the remainder? If I divide 9 by 4, the remainder is going to be 1, so I'm going to be left with 1/4. And that's my answer for part A. How many whole numbers can I make? I can make 2, and we're going to have a remainder of 1, so my remainder is going to be 1/4 because we keep the same denominator as we had in the improper fraction. Okay, we've just converted an improper fraction, 9/4, into 2 1/4 into a mixed numeral. Let's do the same for B here. How many wholes can I make? Whole numbers. I can fit 5 into 22 4 times. So I'm going to get 4 as a whole number. And what is my remainder? Well, my remainder is going to be 2 because 5 goes into 20, but it doesn't go into 22. So I've got 2 left over. So my fraction part is going to be 2/5. I can fit 4 wholes, and I'm left with 2/5 at the end. That's how I convert from an improper fraction to a mixed numeral. How do we think about going in the reverse order? So we're going from a mixed numeral to improper fraction. So the way that I think about this is I've got to think how many parts do I have in total? How many parts do I have in total, or can I make in total? Let me show you what I mean by that. So if I've got 3 2/5, I've got to work out how many fifths I have, okay? The denominator of the fraction part tells me what the size of my fraction is going to be, or what the denominator of my mixed numeral, of my improper fraction at the end is going to be 2. So if I've got 3 2/5, first of all, how many fifths do I have in total? Well, I've got 2/5, because that's the remainder, and then I'm going to have 3 times 5/5 as well. And that's how many parts I have. Okay, 3 times 5 is 15, plus 2 is 17. So then I have 17 5/5 in total. So I've just sort of think, how many fifths do I have? I'm going to have 2/5. I'm also going to have 3 times 5/5, okay, because it takes 5/5 to make up a whole. And so in total, I have 17/5, which is what my improper fraction is here. Okay, let's look at this, 7 4/9. So I'm going to think, how many ninths do I have here? Well, I'm going to have 4 ninths plus, how many ninths can I fit in 7? Well, you're going to have 9 ninths for every whole number, so it's going to be 7 times 9. Okay, and 7 times 9 is 63. So that means that, have I got that right? 63. That should be right, yep. Okay, and then I add it together. So 63 plus 4 is going to give me 67 ninths in total. So that's how I worked out converting my mixed numeral into an improper fraction. But I think, how many ninths will I have? Or how many fifths do I have? Okay, hope you've enjoyed the video. Good luck with the questions today. If you have any questions, you can rejoin that Zoom call and let me know. And I'll see you in the next video.